Hello everyone, welcome once again to my channel. It's your boy Luis Portelles, and for today's video we have a very special reaction because I will actually be reviewing my top candidates from Miss Universe 2020 preliminary contest. This show actually took place yesterday, but I did want to take some time to, watch it again, digest all the looks, really go through the photos and the videos and have enough information to give you a fair reaction and a fair judgment for each one of the candidates. I have made a list that is made out of 10 candidates. It doesn't mean that the others that didn't make the list were not good, but these ones are really the strongest in my opinion, and I will be explaining during this video the reasons why. For each one of the candidates that made my list, I will be commenting their swimsuits and their gowns. But in order to make this an interactive experience, I want you guys to go down in the comments and let me know if you agree with my judgment. Let me know if you had maybe another contestant that didn't make my list but that you really wanted to see there. This is an open conversation, guys. Miss Universe, it's all about entertainment and having fun, so go off in the comments. While you watch my video, also don't forget to leave a like so that it gets recommended to more people, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one almost every single day. Alright my friends, so without further ado, let's get into today's reaction. I really hope that you enjoy it. Be strong. Okay everyone, so let's start by talking about the show itself, the technicalities and the host. So let's address the elephant in the room. If I'm being quite honest, I have to tell you that the production overall seemed a little bit rushed when it comes to the length of the show. For some of the candidates, I even feel like we didn't have enough time to get to see each one of them or even appreciate the gowns, the swimsuits. It was, it was a little quick. If you ask me, I think it's a little sad because these girls do put a lot of effort, a lot of money into these competitions and a lot of time as well. So when the organization fails to deliver when it comes to the production aspect of it, the ones that are being penalized are the contestants, and that shouldn't happen because the girls are doing their job. Come on now, Miss Universe, step it up. I also feel like for a good part of the show, especially in the beginning, it took a while for the camera crew to get it together, get the angles, and it was a little bit messy, I'm not gonna lie. As a viewer, it takes away from the experience when you're watching the show because you want to be taken into this world of Miss Universe and of beauty and, glamour and all of that. But when this type of things happen, these glitches, these timing issues, it cuts the fantasy. It takes away from the experience. So definitely, I think that this is something that I should be a little more mindful going forward. I know that they rehearse a lot with the girls before the events, but I think that they should also practice a little bit more when it comes to the camera, the angles, the crew, to make sure that if the girls are bringing their A game, the crew and the production are going to be on the same level. The last thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to the show overall, it's the host. So I thought that it was a great idea that they brought two Miss Universe from South Africa. The dynamic was there, but when it comes to the actual hosting, I feel like they just read their text minutes before the show started and they didn't really know what to do with it. We have to remind ourselves that this was a live event, and by all means, sometimes when you're live, things can go wrong, but we're talking about several incidents in this case. And I'm not just talking about presenting the girls, but also delivering the explanations while the girls were on the runway. Why do I think this is sad? Because even if the girl is giving it her all, like she's delivering the walk, she's delivering the looks, rocking the gowns, the swimsuit, everything is there. If the hosts make a mistake, that girl will always live with that footage for the rest of her life. It doesn't matter if she gets the crown or not. At the end of the day, when she wants to look back to her Miss Universe experience, all she's gonna see is, girl, I was giving it my all, but damn, the host had to miss my part. That is not ideal, to say the least. But you know what? That's enough of me ranting for today. Let's actually get into today's video, and that is Miss Universe 2020 top contestants. I'm going to tell you that these are not necessarily in order, like 1 to 10, because I feel like depending on the day and what I'm looking at, this order can change. So I just decided to go with 10 girls that I think are doing a great job so far, that I'm really looking forward to see in the finale. At the end of the day, this is just for fun. Let's see if you guys agree with it or not. So let's get into the first one that I'm really close to for obvious reasons. And I am talking about Miss Canada. Okay, so Nova, I have to tell you that her swimsuit looks really, really amazing. There's something about the color palette that she used that really fits her skin color very, very well. Nova is a tall girl, and those legs, honey, when she was walking down the runway, I was living, I was getting my life, my juice, all of it. I liked how everything fits her body, and also the fact that she did not seem to be bothered by the robe. A lot of the girls were really, really, really having a hard time with the robe. They didn't know what to do with it, but Nova was really not struggling. Next on, we had her runway look for the gown. And oh my God, this one was really, really amazing. Something about the color, the silver skin color. She looked glamorous, regal. I love the details when it comes to the gown, the jewelry, and overall the confidence. Nova was really giving me a great aura on that stage, and that's something that I can really appreciate. Moving on, the next one we have Miss India. And I know that Miss India was one of those favorite contestants for a lot of people. This is my first time actually seeing her, let's say, in a swimsuit. Never saw her body before, but she certainly did not disappoint. Her body is very fit, very toned, and overall, she gave me great energy on stage. She was a joy to watch, a beautiful smile, effortless, and all of the elements that you want to see in this category. Next, when she came on stage with her gown, I have to admit that this was one that really stayed with me because talking about the gown itself, it wasn't anything out of this world, right? A lot of the girls went for the very obvious theme of silver and gold. But Miss India had a twist with it. She actually went and mixed both of them, which I think it was a clever move that it really paid off at the end of the day. And a big part of it for me, it's also the attitude on stage, how you sell it. Miss India really looked that she was having fun. She was not trying too hard. And a lot of the girls really seemed like they were, trying to force it, look fierce. And no, 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 no. Here, Miss India really just looked happy to be there. And I appreciate that. For the next one, we have Miss Mexico. And oh my God, this body, yaddy, yaddy, yaddy. For me, something that I really love about Miss Mexico is her walk. She is so confident, and when she steps, is like a very, very firm step. That just gives me like strong, independent woman vibes, and I'm all here for it. Also, can I tell you that belly? I am jealous. I want it, and I need her trainer's number as soon as possible. Miss Mexico was able to pull it together and really deliver a look that was very cohesive, very strong. When it comes to the hair, the makeup, the body, the garments, everything was there. Now, baby, let's talk about her gown because this one is one of my favorites of the night. Let's talk a little bit about the motif of the gown. It makes me think a little bit of volcano stones, and that's just stunning. I love the way that the gown fits her body. I love the cut, the fact that you can see the legs. Beautiful. And Miss Mexico herself, she is stunning. She was smiling the entire time. Her facial expressions were on point at all times. And I appreciate the fact that she delivers something slightly different when it comes even to the hair. She changed it up from the swimsuit to the gown. So I really appreciate that. Next one, guys, this is one that was kind of like under the radar for me, and I'm talking about Miss Nepal. I don't remember talking about Miss Nepal at all on my channel previously, and even through social media, most vloggers were not talking about her too much. But baby, let me tell you, as soon as Miss Nepal came on that runway, I was charmed by those hips. I mean, look at that body. You cannot tell me anything but stunning. And look at her face. She looks like she's having fun, smiling. The hair is blowing in the air. The robe is blowing in the air. What else do you want? And at the end of the day, the moment that really completed the look for me was when Miss Nepal came out with that beautiful, beautiful gown. Honestly, I have to admit that it was fairly simple, but very effective. At the end of the day, she played it safe, but she delivered on what was expected of her. And the girl is beautiful. The smile, the hair, the makeup, the jewelry, everything was there. And at least the dress was not underwhelming. Now, moving on to the next candidate. And I know this is a popular one. I'm talking about Estefania, Miss Puerto Rico. I mean, Estefania really is a strong woman with confidence. And I love that about her because she looked like she wasn't trying to convince anyone. You know how some girls walk down the runway trying to look at the judges and look at the audience, like they don't look very sure of themselves. However, they're trying to smile and look fierce. This is not the case for Stefania. She was there to show them what she has to offer and prove that she deserves a spot in the top 5. Something that I love about Miss Puerto Rico is that she brings a sense of experience that a lot of these girls are lacking. Maybe it's because of the fact that she's 29 years old, which for a lot of people it's problematic, but for me, I have no issue with that. I love her from head to toe. Next, when she came out with that dress, I have to tell you, I was so happy because she actually took a risk. If you take a look at most of the gowns that we saw during the night, they were all like very classical gowns, like with the crystals and the see-through and all of that, and it was like the same color palette for pretty much everyone, gold and silver. However, Miss Puerto Rico came out with a green gown. I know, green. Honestly, I was just living my life. This gave me Versace vibes with a J Lo. I don't know, for some reason I saw the reference. I don't know if it's because she's from Puerto Rico or because of like strong independent Latina woman, but I really really enjoyed Estefania. And overall she looked beautiful. Look at the hair, look at the leg. I'm living, and the dress was amazing. She really knew how to handle it. Moving on, guys, I know that the next candidate you really, really love, and I'm talking about Miss Amanda, Miss Thailand. All I'm gonna say about Amanda, it's legs, body, face. She went there and she delivered everything that we were expecting from her. She was extremely graceful, extremely smooth. She looked like she was in control. She carried herself very, very well from beginning to end. And she was interacting with the audience, with the camera. Overall, she gave me vibes that she was in control. I also really enjoyed the way that she was handling her robe. She looked magnificent, and for that, she had to be one of my top contestants. Then moving on to her gown, and this is one of the highlights of the night for me, the fact that she actually took a risk when it comes to her gown. Of course, it was nothing very original when it comes to the colors because a lot of people did gold that night. However, the fact that she went with a dress that was kind of like a top and a bottom, to a certain extent, you can say that she was wearing a top with a skirt. But you know what? It looked beautiful, it looked classy, it looked professional. So at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with it. I also have to give her props for her walk because we already talked about her on this channel when it comes to her walk. I gave you some thoughts about it. And there was clearly a reference in the early videos that we saw from Amanda. However, I think that she improved a lot. She did practice. And although you still can see a little bit of the reference, I'm okay with it now because it actually looks like her walk and it is inspired by someone else. But there's nothing wrong with inspiration. Moving on to the next one, and I'm talking about Miss Peru. I'm gonna tell you about Miss Peru. She's one of the girls that a lot of vloggers have been talking about her consistently. For some reason, she was never like on my radar that much, but during tonight's show, she really delivered. I have to tell you that personally speaking, I feel like she has one of the most stunning bodies in the competition. Extremely fit, extremely toned, and there's something about her face, especially her eyes, that really sells anything that she wears. Some people, accuse her of doing a little bit too much, but for me, this is not a problem because I'm all here for the drama and for all of that. Bring it on, honey. Moving on to her gown, I mean, it's all about the posture for me. The gown is fairly simple, but it's very, very beautiful. See-through with silver elements, but look at the body, look at the posture, look at the hair, the smile. And once again, she's bringing me back to the eyes, and that's all I needed, honey. Okay, moving on. This is a fun favorite, and guys, that I'm talking about Miss Rabiya, Miss Philippines. From the moment that Rabiya stepped on that stage, she said, "Baby, my hips don't lie," and look at them hips. All I'm gonna say for Rabiya is that she had the most playful walk of the night. She looked youthful, seductive, and she was fun to watch. And something that I was really, really happy to see is that she looked like she was enjoying herself. She looked confident, which I was a little bit stressed after obviously everything that happened during the national costume night. And overall, what I thought of her body is that Rabiya was giving me natural beauty vibes. Some of these girls looked like they were working on their body for like years and they looked like so extremely fit and so extremely toned, but it kind of sets the bar way too high for most people. I really appreciated the fact that Rabia's body looked extremely healthy, toned, fit. However, it looked realistic. She still has her natural curves, and in my opinion, that adds to her sex appeal. Seduction, baby. Moving on to her gown, and in case you haven't noticed, I am wearing yellow today for an obvious reason. I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color. Yellow is the color of happiness. And you know what? I was actually happy to see her wearing yellow because it's not overly done, especially during the competition when everyone was going with metallic colors like golden and silver. Rabiya came out with a very beautiful beautiful yellow dress. For me, the look was completed by the hair, the makeup, and the jewelry. The cape was stunning, and I didn't get to see the cape fully until all the girls came back on stage, but I saw the details in the back of the cape, and it was just amazing. You can tell how much work and preparation went into this gown. And knowing Rabia and her team, you know that there were some hints about the country when it comes to her look. And my theory is that she wore yellow because on previous years, Pia wore blue, Catriona wore red, and now Rabia is wearing yellow, which if you put it together, those are the colors of the Philippines flag. What else can I say? Rabia looked beautiful, confident, focused. She is in the competition right now. There's no more emotional drama. She's here to play. And I'm so excited about it. Moving on, guys. Next, I have Miss South Africa. And Miss South Africa is one of those contestants that a lot of people are rooting for. Obviously, I think that her body, her walk, her face, everything was on point when it comes to her swimsuit. But there's something about her eyes, Miss South Africa and also Miss Peru, they have something very, very appealing when it comes to their faces. And for her, I think it's actually a plus because she has a stunning body. I mean, if you don't look at the face and you just look at the body, this is perfect from beginning to end. Although there's something about her that really takes me back to her face every single time. Now, when she came out with that dress, that's when I got all of my life for the night. She looked stunning. And I saw a lot of people criticizing the fact that she was wearing gloves, but for me, that was one of the main aspects that I loved about her outfit. Because try to picture this image without the gloves, I think it would look a little bit incomplete. All of the other elements, the designing of the dress was very tasteful, which I know for a fact that this is one of her strengths because she has her own brand. The hair, it was extremely classy. And overall, I don't know if you see the reference, but she was giving me Jessica Rabbit vibes. Definitely here for it. Now, last but not least on my list, we have Miss Czech Republic. Miss Czech Republic never made it into my previous top 21 that I have made for my channel. She was really not on my radar, but for some reason, I really enjoyed her tonight. She looks like a simple girl, someone that you can find on the street, but when you look at her on stage, she just gave me like amazing vibes. She was prepared, she was happy to be there, she was connecting with the audience, and overall, I did enjoy her aura. The swimsuit was cute, but when she came on stage with that final dress, that's when I said, this is a strong contestant. I mean, look at it. For me, this is very couture. This is very fashion. I can imagine this on the cover of Vogue. I don't know. Look at it. I don't have to lie. The material is right there. The attention to the detail, the way that she handled herself on stage, all of those elements that I'm really looking forward on a contestant, she was able to deliver. And you know what? At the end of the day, this is what it's all about. For me, when it comes to these categories where you're rocking the swimsuit and you're rocking the gowns, it's all about showing them what you can do when you're put on a runway, what you can do during a photo shoot. Try to sell the garments to like sponsors and look for company brand deals and all of that. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to the brains and the heart, the girls, all of those elements will be seen during the finale, during the Q&A for those who make it, of course. All right, everyone. So that was my list of top contestants for Miss Universe 2020 preliminary show. Let me know if you guys agree with my candidates, or let me know if maybe I missed someone. You never know. There were so many girls, to be honest, that maybe I overlooked one of them. But if that was the case, please make sure that you let me know in the comment section down below. As usual, I'm going to ask you to leave a like on my video so that it gets recommended to more people. That's how you help me grow. And also, by all means, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one almost every single day. And last but not least, baby, come here and give me a hug, because that's a little tradition on this channel. Today is gonna be hard because I'm actually filming with my laptop, but a tradition is a tradition, baby. I love you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. And until I see you next time, please stay safe, be kind to one another, sending you all my love, all my kisses, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.